The new Defender seems to be doing well for Land Rover, which isn't what the old Defender diehards were expecting. As soon as the new vehicle was released, all the lovers of old Land Rovers, and to some extent me included, rushed to say that the new Defender isn't the proper off-roader and it has nothing to do with the old one. Which is true. I can see where those statements are coming from, but there's no denying that the new car is better in every single way, perhaps instead from durability and reliability. But old vs new aside, should you spend your hard-earned money on a new Defender? The answer here is both yes and not, depending on who you are and what your planned usage is. So let's have a look. So let's start from the pros of the new Defender, then we shall go into the cons, and then if it makes sense to buy one and who should buy one, and if you do buy one to use for off-roading, what are the modifications one can do on the new Defender. So the pros. The new Defender is a very comfortable vehicle, both in terms of driving and in terms of storage and in general cabin layout. There is a lot of space in the new Defender, both for passengers and for cargo. The seats are amazing, they're very comfortable, the driving position is great, the infotainment system is amazing when it works. There are some minor issues there, which we will cover in a few minutes. The cameras available are also amazing. It has 360 cameras, which are very helpful when off-roading, but also when hitching up a trailer. I think the software when it comes to lining up the vehicle to tow a trailer is some of the best on the current market, not just in the Land Rover lineup, but as far as all vehicles are considered. It is really an amazing system. The new Defender also has very useful add-ons like onboard air, which is very helpful when you're off-roading. If you have air down your tires, you can easily air back up by using the onboard air system that can be found in the rear of the car. The interior feels robust, which I know is weird for a Land Rover. In most cases they do not feel robust, but the materials feel good. The floor is covered in rubber, so it can be cleaned easily if you get in and out of the new Defender with muddy shoes or boots. However, to that I must add that a few days ago I was poking around an actual new Defender, and some areas of it did feel a bit flimsy. For example, the door handle would move around quite a bit, and it was made from plastic, which most door handles are made from plastic nowadays, but that specific one felt a bit too weak and cheap in my opinion. But yet again, it is a Land Rover, and these kind of things have been a Land Rover staple for many years now. So it is what you get. Also, it is no secret by now that the new Defender is a great off-roader. It may not have the mechanical grip the old Defender had, thanks to its solid axles and great suspension geometry, but the traction control system, the air suspension, and even the lockers available mean that even when the new Defender lifts wheels, it can keep on going and it can really tackle some very difficult terrain. It is impressive for a stock vehicle, but there is a caveat here, and we are going to cover it in the cons section. Now, the final pro, I think, is that Land Rover has done a great job of infusing the character of the old vehicle into the new one. The interior has a utility feel about it. Everything is upright. There are a lot of storage areas, cubbies, and as I said before, the materials are tough. The look of the new Defender kind of looks like the old one, but in a modern kind of way. The driving position reminds you of the old Defender, although in the new one you have a lot of space for your arms and legs, which you didn't have in the old one. And cool features and design cues like the Alpine windows have made their way into the new vehicle, which is cool to see. Now, let's move to the cons. There aren't many, but they can be serious depending on what you want to use the vehicle for. First and foremost, there have been a lot of gremlins with the screen in the new Defender, things like cameras staying on a wrong time that is displayed on the screen, and other issues that can be annoying. On top of that, we also have some issues with the engines, and specifically the 2-liter turbo diesel, which is the entry-level engine for the Defender, which seems to not be all that reliable. I must say that the 3-liter diesel engine is made by BMW, and I do believe that that is one of the best choices for the new Defender, both from an economy standpoint and from a reliability standpoint, but it is a complicated engine, so it still may have a few issues as the years progress and as the vehicle gets older. My biggest complaint though regarding the new Defender revolves around its off-road abilities. As I said before, it is very capable off-road. However, it has independent air suspension or coil suspension. If you opt for the cheaper versions, the coil suspension will certainly be more robust and more reliable, but the air suspension and the independent units both in the front and the rear mean that this isn't the toughest of vehicles when it comes to suspension components. The ball joints will wear out and they will be more difficult to replace than the old Defender. The air suspension will be problematic, and as you would expect, the whole design just isn't as robust. I'm not saying that it will have problems out of the box, but when the car gets older, and especially if you use it hard off-road, you may come across issues. Many people have stated that the wheel speed sensors are a deal breaker in the Defender. For example, if you happen to knock out a wheel speed sensor, that the whole vehicle will be deemed unusable, but that has been proven to not be the case. If a wheel sensor fails, the vehicle can still function, but it won't have traction control, which of course will reduce its off-road abilities, but it will be able to get you home. All that being said, people who did have problems with their Defenders have stated that the dealers have always been very helpful when it comes to fixing the problems, and since these are new vehicles, everything is covered in the warranty. So these minor issues aren't actually a deal breaker. But this brings me on to who the Defender will work for. If you are someone in Australia or Africa who wants to do a lap of the country, I don't think the Defender is the vehicle for you, because these small issues can be huge when you are thousands of miles away from any kind of service station. However, if you live in Europe or in the US and just need a car to get around daily, to use as a family car, and maybe to even get out into nature for weekend trips, then I believe that the Defender is a great vehicle. The comfort and usability and capabilities it can offer are amazing, and very few vehicles can do everything so well, from the school run to tackling some very tough off-road trails. Now, if you're planning on off-roading your Defender, what are the modifications to do? Because its platform is complicated, it is difficult to modify the new Defender, so I wouldn't go out trying to build it as big and as capable as possible, because I believe it isn't a vehicle that is fit for this purpose. What I would do is install a size larger in tires, maybe a mud terrain or an all-terrain, to increase grip and slightly increase ground clearance, and then I would go ahead and add a roof rack, and if you can find someone that can do so, a front winch. It is a bit difficult to add a front winch on the Defender, but it can be done if you want to. That is everything I would do, because the Defender is very capable from the factory and its platform isn't the best for modifying, so modifying it extensively is both difficult and I believe will ruin the vehicle. As a quick recap, I think the Defender is a great buy for most people. You will probably need to deal with some issues here and there, but come on, it's a Land Rover, what do you expect when you're buying it? If you want a reliable vehicle that never has to go to the dealer, you should probably look at another brand. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.